The new Renault 5 electric hatchback made its public debut at the Munich Motor Show ahead of its market debut in 2024. The Renault 5 prototype is a modern tribute to the iconic Renault 5 that was produced from 1972 to 1996. It previews a production model that will be available in 2025. The modern Renault 5 will be one of the 7 all-electric vehicles introduced by the French automaker over the next 4 years, but it will not replace the Zoe or the Clio. What distinguishes the Renault 5? In today's video, we're going to show you the new Renault 5. Before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure that the post notifications are turned on so that you never miss a video from us. Without further ado, let's dive in. The Renault 5 was introduced in 1972 as part of the first wave of subcompact hatchbacks. The R5 was released 4 years before the most famous Ford Fiesta and Volkswagen Polo. Michael Bowe created the R5 in his spare time, and it was regarded as an avant-garde design at the time. When Renault executives learned about it, they were so taken with the concept that they immediately established a development program. The 3.5-meter-long hatchback was initially available with a choice of 4-cylinder engines. Engines as small as 782cc and as large as 1.4 liters were available during the first generation, which ran from 1972 to 1985. The base models had only 36 horsepower and could only reach 80 miles per hour, while the 1.4-liter model had 62 horses and could reach 88 miles per hour. Renault also provided a 1.4-liter Turbo 4 engine with 108 horsepower and top speeds exceeding 110 miles per hour. These engines propelled models such as 5 Alpine Turbo and Gordini Turbo. Renault also produced Alpine and Gordini models with naturally aspirated engines that produced 92 horsepower. The Renault 5 was one of the best-selling cars of its era, manufactured in 9 factories spread across 7 countries and 5 continents. It was also the best-selling car in France from 1972 to 1986, selling 5.5 million units. The Renault 5 was also imported into the United States as part of American Motors Corporation's current partnership with the French brand. In North America, it was dubbed Le Car, and it was imported to compete with the Honda Civic and the Volkswagen Rabbit. The Le Car was sold in the United States from 1976 to 1983 and featured a 1.4-liter 4-cylinder engine rated at 55 horsepower. Renault debuted the 5 Turbo in 1980, a more extreme hatchback with the engine mounted behind the front seats. Originally designed for rallying, the 5 Turbo was eventually offered in a street-legal version to meet racing homologation requirements. The 1.4-liter mid-mounted engine produced 158 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque, allowing the hatchback to reach 62 miles per hour in 6.9 seconds and a top speed of 120 miles per hour. In 1984, Renault introduced the second-generation 5, also known as the Super Sync. While the platform was completely new, based on the larger 9 and 11 models, Marcello Gandini's pen kept the aesthetic consistent. The new R5, on the other hand, was slightly longer and wider to provide more interior space. It also used a transversal engine and modern suspension. Renault maintained its 4-cylinder engine lineup, but the smallest unit was now a 1.0-liter. Renault also debuted a larger 1.7-liter gasoline engine and a 1.6-liter diesel engine. The 1.0-liter produced 41 horsepower, the 1.7-liter produced 81 horses, and the turbocharged 1.4-liter 4-pot produced up to 118 horsepower. After the mid-engined 5 Turbo, the latter powered the Renault 5 GT Turbo, arguably the most iconic variant of the original R5. The second-generation R5 was phased out in 1996 when it was officially replaced by the Clio, which had been on the market since 1990. In nearly 25 years, Renault produced slightly more than 9 million cars. Upgraded all-new Renault 5. The modern Renault 5 is currently worthy of the iconic 5 badge in terms of design. Not only is it homage to Renault's classic hatchback, but it's also a modern clone of the Super Mini that the French company introduced in 1972. The R5's distinguishing features can be found everywhere, beginning with a nearly square headlamp set at the corners of the front fascia. The narrow front grille of the classic model has been removed, but Renault has retained a slender black line between the headlamps to simulate the contact area between the grille and the tip of the front hood. The 5 prototype, like the old R5, features a diamond logo in the center of the fascia. While the headlamps and upper fascia are inspired by the first generation R5, the turning signals are inspired by the second generation hatchback, which also had them right beneath the main lights. Renault added a decidedly modern feature beneath the hood in the form of thin and rectangular LED daytime running lights around the vents. The bumper also has R5-inspired elements such as 3-piece outlets in the center and a protruding splitter-like element at the bottom. The front end of the 5 prototype is completed by an offset grille on the front hood, which was previously found on performance-oriented R5 models. The profile of the concept is further proof that Renault worked hard to keep it as close to the original as possible. To represent the cladding that adorned most versions of the classic R5, the thick side skirts are painted a different color than the body. The 5 prototype also has squared-off fender flares, which contrast with the otherwise smooth and slightly rounded bodywork. While flares were not standard on most older R5 models, they are a distinguishing feature of R5 turbo models and R5-based rally cars. The 6-spoke wheels are inspired by those found on high-performance versions of the original R6. The similarities to the previous hatchback continue around the back, with a clean and slanted tailgate section and vertical taillights mounted high on the pillars. The LED layout of the lights, while modern, also harkens back to the first generation R5. The thin light bar that runs across the tailgate is a completely new feature, but the offset diamond emblem with 5 graphics is inspired by the original hatchback. The clean and tall bumper is also reminiscent of the previous R5, and the lack of exhaust pipes indicates that Renault is abandoning combustion engines for the modern R5. The interior has not been photographed, but there is one shot of the windscreen that shows a 5-seat layout with heavily bolstered front seats. The blue lights on the headrest side are a nice touch. A digital instrument cluster is also mounted high on the dashboard of the 5 prototype. You can also program it to display hello through the windshield, which should make passing pedestrians smile. Renault didn't say much about the 5 prototype's powertrain other than it's electric. As a result, there will be no internal combustion models like the classic R5, nor will there be any hybrids. The production version of the upcoming R5 will be powered solely by batteries. But what exactly will underpin this hatchback? The latter will serve as the foundation for all-electric Megane, which is set to go into production by the end of 2021. The Megane E-Vision teased an all-electric Megane with an electric motor producing 215 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque to the front wheels. The hatchback will also be able to reach 62 miles per hour in 8 seconds and travel up to 280 miles on a single charge on the WLTP cycle. The Renault 5, which will sit beneath the Megane EV, will of course be less powerful. The base model will most likely produce slightly more than 100 horsepower, while an optional drivetrain will produce nearly 150 horses. Under the Alpine brand, Renault will also offer a performance-oriented version. The Alpine R5 will most likely have close to 200 horsepower. Since the Renault 5 was replaced by the Clio in 1996, it's natural to wonder if the third-generation R5 will be the last of its kind. No, it does not. The R5 and the Clio will continue to coexist. While the Renault 5 will be an all-electric, the Clio will be available with both combustion and hybrid engines. The Renault 5 is mostly unknown outside of Europe, but it returns after nearly 30 years and is still very exciting. And if the 5 prototype is put into production with minor changes, we can say that Renault just nailed it. It's not only recreating the original R5's cute and fun yet avant-garde look, but it also takes into future with an all-electric powertrain and modern materials and technology. The fact that Renault will also build a more powerful Alpine version makes things even better. And that concludes today's video. What are your thoughts on the new Renault 5? Please share your thoughts down in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. Consider subscribing to the channel for more great videos like this. Turn on post notifications while you're at it so you don't miss any of our future postings. To learn more about cars, watch these videos. That'll be all for today. We hope you enjoyed the video and we hope to see you in the future one.
To change your